Hello and welcome back to another Prima discussion. Today, well, let's just say we're going to talk about something only real fans will remember. Is this the right thing to call? I don't know. But first of all, let's get me started with some intro part here. So I have been out of school for a few years now, and while this was never my favorite subject, I can still remember a few facts that I learned in that class. So back in art class, I learned about color theory. So there is a lot to talk about colors, and if I wanted to actually make an entire video about colors and art, I would make a new channel about that because there's too much to talk about colors and art. But well, in color theory, all of the stuff about primary, secondary and tertiary colors, and I would have never thought that it might turn out to be useful to me in the future, especially when I'm just doing a One Piece channel on YouTube. But I guess some of you might already know where I'm going with this. Today we're going to take a look at Miss Goldenweeks Color Trap Ability. Color Trap is a very interesting thing because it's only been used once, and that's something that Oda does a lot. And contrary to popular belief, Color Trap is not a devil fruit ability. It's just Miss Goldenweek who's using her colors and different artistic abilities to make something work out there. So Oda often gives us new powers which instantly turn irrelevant in next arcs. A prime example for that would be Dials from Skypiea. So after Water 7 and I guess just a bit later, Dials instantly lost their limelight. They were completely forgotten. Usopp doesn't use them anymore, I think. Like, why doesn't he use the Reject Dial or the Impact Dial or anything like that? It was his pretty strong abilities, just absorbing an attack from the enemy and pushing it back. It would have made him so much better. Like, just using different gadgets he gets from everything. Like the dials, or right now in Wano, we're learning about ninjutsu and these different things. And ninjutsu are probably never going to be a topic anymore after Wano. But Miss Goldenweek, or if you want to use her real name, Marianne, is, well, she's an interesting character because she actually goes by many different names. Not only Miss Goldenweek when she's working for Baroque Works, or Marianne when she's like on her real name, she also has the title Flag Bearer of Freedom. So why does this young woman have such a big title? But I guess this is not the focus here, and I don't want to make a big of a tangent. Maybe she's going to have some connection with the Revolutionary Army in the future, or we will never see her again. But it's just weird to have her be called Flag Bearer of Freedom. So now let's talk about Color Trap. Color Trap was only used in Little Garden, and then in a cover story with Miss Goldenweek and a bit of the other Baroque Works members. But that was pretty much it. So let me quote the ability of Color Trap to at least explain to you a bit more how it works. Marianne, or Miss Goldenweek, makes up for an absence of combat ability by using her unique skill as a realist painter. So it's not sure if it only works if you're a realist painter or if every artist, kind of painter or whatever, could use these abilities in a different, similar way. In this way, she can change a person's personality through the use of a certain color, like influencing the behaviors as she sees fit. So there's the question here. There is this theory that some colors can have like hypnotic effects or can be used for changing the personality and stuff. It's common seen like with like these fake videos on YouTube or anything. But it's a fantasy manga, if you want to call One Piece that, and obviously it can actually work there. And we have seen with Luffy that it can actually work. So it works through the use of a symbol. The symbol I don't know if it can be freely choose, or if it needs to be the symbol that Miss Goldenweek actually used here. She used an abstract writing form of the letters C and T, which is just an abbreviation for Color Trap. So basically, she just needs to paint either directly onto a person or near them, depending on what color she uses. And then the effect starts taking place. Once this person is under the spell of Color Trap, they are unable to break out of it unless the symbol is removed or smeared. So if they take a shower, fall into water, or if like somebody punches them or moves their hand over the spot, these things can break the curse, the Color Trap effect. But if nobody ever does these things, the Color Trap effect lasts forever. So the trap overrides all other actions attempted by that person under its influence, forcing them to do whatever the trap suggests, no matter what. So someone who possesses a simple mind, like Monkey D. Luffy did, is said to be more vulnerable to these kind of, well, psychological attacks. It implies that someone very strong-minded would be able to resist the influence of Color Trap. So in D&D terms, people with a higher wisdom stat and proficiency in wisdom saving throws have a better chance against the abilities of Color Trap. But the question here is, strong-minded, because Luffy in a sense he's strong-willed. He has a very strong willpower and all these different things, but his mind in that way, that he's smart or has wisdom in these things, is not very true. So I don't know how it would be for people like Whitebeard, Sengoku, Garp. Garp is also like similar to Luffy being strong-willed, but maybe not that strong-minded. So where is the limit of Color Trap? Who would it work on and who wouldn't it work on? Because Oda never really worked these things out, there's a lot to think about, and this ability could be one of the most busted things ever introduced in One Piece. But now let's get into the different colors we know about. First of all, we have Uragiri no Kuro, or Black of Betrayal. This color is, well, this black basic design causes the target to betray their friends and allies, doing exactly the opposite of what they say. This was used for against Luffy on Little Garden when everybody else was captured in this wax cake and they were about to be turned into wax figures, and Luffy stood on the betrayal's black and looked at it and just didn't care about them. People, Zoro, Nami, and Vivi asked him, "Save us, Luffy, get us out of here!" And he just didn't care. He didn't care because he was another Black of Betrayal standing there. And this is just, there's so many different things you can do with these colors, but let's get into the second one. We have Warai no Kiro, which is Yellow of Laughter. Basically, this yellow design here, let me show that to you. The yellow design causes the target to laugh uncontrollably. Basically like a smile devil fruit. If you think about it, maybe the smile devil fruits have some coloring in it. Maybe some food coloring with Kiro, the name again, with Warai no Kiro. And now we go to the next color. Tokyo no Aka is Red of Bullfighting, and it can be used for a lot of different things as well. This red design causes the target to direct all of their attacks to towards the printed mark, which can be used in many different ways. I just think about if I actually thought about this scenario of D&D games in mind, because if somebody in a D&D game or an enemy would use Color Trap, and they could just draw the red mark on like a tree, and the people would attack the tree instead of them. Or they can make the mark, if they have time to do that, draw it on one of the enemies, or like one of the enemies, and then every other enemy needs to attack the target. There's so much you can do with that. You can make people miss, you can make people attack other people, and you can just stay safe out of there. You're like support character, but you can still do so much with all these things. So now we go over to Kanashimi no Ao. There's not much said to be that because it's not been used technically, it's only been combined together with the yellow color. But it's this thing that we learned from the Blue of Sadness is that this blue design causes the target to become sad. So like they would be depressed or crying all the time. Like if you would get hit by a negative holo, I would expect that effect from this color. But now let's go over to the next one. Nagomi no Midori, which is Green of Soothing. You all remember this part where Luffy actually just wanted to do, it's like a mixture of the yellow and the blue design, which it gives a completely different effect from just being sad and being laughing all the time. It just makes the target sit down and just have a relaxed picnic together with Miss Goldenweek. I don't think it's like necessarily designed to only be a picnic, essentially just that they become very relaxed and don't care about the situation anymore. They just want to sit down and not think about anything, just enjoy the nice sun going into their eyes and anything like that. But just the variety of these different abilities is insane already, and it's all been used in one singular arc and afterwards never again. But now we have two colors left. Let me tell you about Tomodachi no Kimidori. Tomodachi no Kimidori was only used in a cover story with her when she, Mr. 5, Miss Valentine, escaped from Little Garden and flew somewhere else, and then had all these other things until they actually got into Impel Down as well, or some other prison. This color is also very interesting because it can be used. It's a mixture of green and yellow, so it's a mixture of not only blue and yellow to make the green, but also some more yellow in there, causing the target to become Miss Goldenweeks' friend and helping her out. So she used that. It's like the Kibi Dango from Tama. She can use that, but she can not only use that on some dinosaurs or animals or monsters, she could use that on anybody. If Kaido was like weak-minded, and she managed to draw this on Kaido, Kaido would just become best friends with Miss Goldenweek. But yeah, there has to be a limit somewhere here, but because Oda just used it in one arc, it probably never came to his mind that his ability is way too busted. And now we actually come to one of the most interesting abilities that I'm not sure if it actually has some effects even to this point in the actual story right now. It's called Yume no Nijiro, or if you want to call it the English name, it's called, where do I have it written down here? Rainbow of Dreams. It's basically a sword of every color she has, causing the target to realize their dreams. Basically, everybody just sees themselves how they would look if they would follow their dream and all these different things. We saw people like Miss Goldenweek wants to become an actual artist. We saw that Mr. 4 wants to become a pizza delivery man, I think. Miss Merry Christmas wants to become a princess. Miss Doublefinger wants actually to become an actual bartender, or like a person who has a coffee shop. Then Mr. 5 wants to be a firefighter. Miss Valentine's wants to become a chocolatier. What's the other names that I forget? Mr. 1, Despots, wants to become a hero for the people. And Mr. Crocodile wants to become the Pirate King. Mr. Crocodile or Mr. Zero. He wants to become the Pirate King. Just seeing that everybody has these different dreams and realizing basically is the question is here, do they just notice this is actually like their dream that they never wanted to give up on or something? It's just, she can make people think about decisions in their life with this ability. If you want to write a book but only know it like deep down in your mind and never actually think about it, this ability will make you think, I want to be a writer. So it's just insane how much variety is in there in Color Trap. And now let me say this. That's only 7 different colors. And if color theory has taught me everything, there are at least 12 tertiary colors. But with a bit of research, I discovered this. According to researchers, there are 1000 shades of light, and within these shades we can detect 100 different levels of red-green shades, 100 levels of yellow and blue shades, and finally that leaves us with an equation of 1000 times 100 times 100 colors. Which leaves us with what number exactly? Yes, 10 million colors. But not all these hues have names, like there would be just some combinations that don't have names. But that just means that if you want to give it a name, you can just invent it. You can just be in a story and invent a new name for something. Plus, if we add the fact that every person and animal sees, like we all see colors a bit different, the number would be even higher, probably in the, let me just say a weird number, quadrillion, or in a Google or something. It's just weird how many colors are there, and we've only seen 7 because otherwise you could have written an entire story about it. Seeing this insanely high number is probably our meta reason why Oda got rid of the concept, or maybe he thought having multiple artists appear with such an ability would take away of its uniqueness. Like, we only seen, that's why as far as I remember, I can only recall like 2 artists as antagonists, with Goldenweek in the Alabasta Saga and Jola in the Dressrosa arc, which actually are like the 2 sides of the same coin, because Alabasta and Dressrosa have this very deep connection. But now with all this research, I'm thinking about Color Trap making a reappearance in the story. What is your opinion about that? Just think about it. There's so much to do with this ability, and just thinking that Miss Goldenweek is called Flag Bearer of Freedom, she could make a reappearance with these colors somewhere in the Revolutionary Army. And I don't know if this is actually going to take place, but please tell me what you think about it. So if anything, I'm very intrigued about the system of colors, and to be honest, if any mangaka ever does a full story, or just a novelist, or just some sort of writer, if somebody writes a full story or draws a full story about that, just about a world where color traps are the main form of combat or techniques, I would certainly read it. If not, maybe I'll take that idea myself for the future. And that's it. That's everything I have to say about this insane power. I just have no idea where to go with this. Just think about all the possibilities that color traps has with over these... What was the number that I told you? Right. With 10 million different colors, and we've seen only 7 different colors holding already this variety of abilities. So this has been Pyro Prima. If you enjoyed this video, why not leave a like or maybe even a sub or anything? It would really mean a lot to me. So all that's left to say for me is stay hot, stay safe, and stay cultured. Pyro out.